Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew, and what I have for you today is my On the Water's Edge Survival Instructor Kit setup or loadout for the class I'm going to be teaching at this weekend at the Pathfinder School in Ohio. So this kit is for that specialty class, Surviving at the Water's Edge, where the philosophy and methodology behind that is providing for our most basic need in survival. One of the most important of that is food, because so many animals congregate and need water just like we do to stay hydrated. We can take advantage of those locations at the water's edge to provide for food. So this class is going to be trapping and hunting and fishing oriented, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of water safety, water crossing, getting across that body of water using our gear as a flotation device. We're going to be building rafts. We're going to be doing a lot of different fishing techniques, trapping techniques, doing primitive as well as modern techniques, and then building a lot of tools. So it's going to be a good class, and this kit is what I'm going to take that should set me up for that, be able to live out of this pack as well as help instruct and then refit and reorganize as necessary. So I'm going to go over this bag really quick, do a gear dump, and that'll be our Sunday video. Stand by. So the first thing I want to show you is just what's going to be primarily in my pockets for survival and instructing. We're just going to have a fire starter, a lighter, just to get that fire going, if necessary, when we cook or smoke the fish that we catch or the animals. Also, a small hank of 550 cord. This is about 10 feet right here. A lot of things we can do with just a piece of 550 cord in our pockets, especially with fishing. This can act as a stringer so we can keep those fish alive in the water and still be able to pull them out and take them back to camp when we're ready to leave. I'm going to set these over here. Also, just a simple folding knife. Process those fish or those amphibians, clean them out, and then we can prepare them for cooking and eating. And then lastly, just a small multi-tool, Leatherman Wave, primarily for those pliers so we can cut wire, actually get a fish hook out of the fish's mouth if necessary. And then it's got small tools on it that you guys are obviously aware of: file, straight blade, a saw for carving notches for making tools or whatever we need, and then a secondary blade. We've got little scissors in here as well, but just a small multi-tool on the belt can do everything for us, especially at this class. So those are the pocket carry items I'm going to have in my pockets while I'm out there instructing. All right, so let's take a look at the bag and everything outside before we dive in. This bag, I can't remember the brand name of it, but it's just a typical 3-day assault pack. And I can fit about 3 days worth of gear in here and supplies. The volume is roughly equivalent to what would be standard issue 3-day assault bag, but this is a nice bag, cheap, got it off the shelf. It was on clearance, I think. Bright OD green, and you can see I've painted in here to help this blend into the environment so it's not standing out with that bright OD green that a lot of tactical bags come like. It's just a technique to help it blend in a little bit more. All right, so the first thing on the outside of this pack, you'll notice is about 50 feet of that strong paracord. This paracord is 1,150 pounds tensile strength. We've got one carabiner, so about 50 feet of that strong cordage that we can use for nets, we can use for traps, we can use as a guy line or to anchor something to shore. We can use it for whatever we need it for. It's all hanked up right here on a carabiner, ready to go. Too easy to pop the strap and then pull the cordage out, and now we're ready to use it for whatever we need. All right, next on the outside of the pouch, there's a side pouch right here with the zipper. On the outside, we just have 3 tent stakes, and then on the other side, we have the other 3 tent stakes for shelter craft or whatever we need to use it with. We can take one of these out with that cordage and then anchor our raft to shore so it's floating in the water safe and we can get to it if we need it. Just another thing to have ready to go, some sort of anchor or mooring line to keep things from floating away down the river or down that body of water. And then strapped to the outside, we have just a small roll of Gorilla Tape. It can be used to fix those tarps if needed while we're making shelter or we're making a raft. You can fix a lot of things with this small roll of Gorilla Tape in survival. So we have a lot of stuff just kind of sitting on the outside of the pack. I'm not a huge fan of having things hanging off the pack, but if it's quick, easy access to something we're going to be using quite a bit, whether it's to fix something or cordage to hang gear, whatever we need it for. I'd rather have it hanging outside so I don't have to get inside the gear itself, getting anything wet or dirty. It's just right there, ready to go. All right, so on the right side, it's a statement pouch here, very small pouch, very tight. We're going to undo the zipper. We've got just a small saw. we can use to take down material, whether we're making cane poles, hobo reels, or we need stakes for gill nets, whatever it is. We've got a little handy saw right here we can use to take down material very easily. Next, just a gill net needle and gauge. We're going to go over nets and how to make nets, either using a gill net needle and gauge we can craft off the landscape, or just having one ready with an improvised gauge so we can make that net quickly. And then of course, some sort of food shovel so we can eat our chow while we're out there in the field. And then on the other side, similar pouch and zipper. Undo that. And on this side, we've got just a small trowel. This thing is camouflage. It was bright orange when I got it, so I just spray painted it really quick. It was desert tan for one coat, but now we've got green and that digi pattern on there so we can use it to dig a cat hole if we need to, if we're away from latrines, or we can use it to go after bait in the ground, worms and bugs and grubs, so we can bait our hooks. And then we have a small set of pruning shears. Pruning shears are actually very helpful in taking down small limbs off of trees or branches so we can hang limb lines, or if we need to gather camouflage, like I learned from my recce teams when I was a scout PL. They had pruning shears just like this, camoed up. You can see camo's kind of come off. We got some orange there. But a small set of pruning shears is actually very handy to have. It makes one-handed operation very easy to take down small limbs or saplings very quickly, efficiently, and it's way better than chop down material. So a small set of pruning shears, very, very handy to have. All right, next we'll do the top pouch. It's a very small utility pouch up here. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. All right, first, just a small little stove. We got the fuel inside so we can make a quick brew. Obviously, we need that coffee in the morning or even that hot cocoa or tea at night. Stay hydrated, but then have something to drink. Keep us motivated, so a small stove's gonna be good. Next, we got that headlamp so we can see in the dark. Too easy. Spare batteries for that headlamp as well. Next, we have just a small frog gig, just the spearhead. So we can take this, gather a shaft or a staff off the landscape, and then attach this so we can go frog gigging at night. Students are gonna be doing that. They may have this, and then they may have to actually craft a frog gig off the landscape to go hunting with. But we carried that spear as part of our kit, so we understand how to use it, but then we can still craft it if necessary if we're without the spear. So it's all part of the packing list. Students will actually have this as part of their packing list, which is why instructors bring it. All right, next, just a small fire kit. We've got just a small spare lighter to go with that other big lighter that I had as part of my kit. Next, just a small Fresnel lens so we can save on fuel from that lighter, or from our man-made tinder sources. We can use natural materials and the sun's rays to get a fire. Next is a small ferro rod, so we can get fires going with this if necessary, and then a small film canister with cotton balls and Vaseline. 3 different ways to start fire combined with friction fire. If we have that material, we can craft a bow drill set, but we're not worried about having to start fires up the landscape. We just want to start a fire, get it going so we can cook, and then we can eat. Too easy. All right, next we got this big sustainment pouch on the back, unzips all the way around. And this is where the majority of the cordage is gonna be. We got paracord, as well as number 12, number 36 bank line, and then mule tape, just 2 hanks of about 15 feet of mule tape, and then another small reel with micro cord, similar to type 1 paracord in general tensile strength and size. But we have a lot of this cord because we're going to be doing net making. We're going to be making a lot of different tools and traps with this class, and so having a lot of different cordage is part of the students' packing list. So as instructors, we bring this stuff so we can resupply ourselves and then demonstrate skills to the students that they can replicate. So we have a lot of good cordage. And then we got one more pouch on the outside, it's right here, and this is all land navigation and note-taking material. So we got our handy-dandy land navigation bandana. So we basically have a solar compass on a bandana right here that we can use the sun's rays, place the stick at the appropriate point for what month it is, creating a gnomon that shadow's going to cross the latitude lines right here. And as long as we understand kind of where we're at on the Earth's surface, given the diagram up here, we can generally find our cardinal directions with almost precise accuracy. A great little tool to have. And that's part of our land navigation kit. We can also use this handkerchief or this bandana for anything a cotton cloth could be used for. Then notebook with pen, paper. We've also got a couple of protractors, a good actual compass to use, and then even a small button compass for improvisation, just good land navigation kit. And then once we get to the schoolhouse, we'll pull out that map so we have a map to use it with. All right, so now let's open the big bag up and we'll take a look at all the gear inside. The only thing I really don't like about this bag is that sometimes the zipper gets caught on the straps right here where the buckles are at, but generally it gets by there pretty easily. Nice strong zipper, covered. All right, a lot of good stuff right on top. So no particular order. We got a small haversack so we can grab some of the contents of our kit, place it in here, throw it over the shoulder, leave our pack, go out, conduct whatever demonstration or exercise we're doing, and then return to the pack. All right, next just a sniper veil. We can use this as a piece of clothing to stay warm or get it wet and try to cool down. Use this to suspend gear if we have to, whatever we can use a sniper veil or a piece of cloth for. It also doubles as a scene net for water's edge survival. All right, next just a millbank bag for water straining, old school technique. Fill it with scummy nasty water after we soak this thing. Let it strain that water into a metal container, then we boil that over the fire. Just another technique for treating water. We also have a faster method so we can resupply very quickly, just a Grail geofilter press. It is easy enough for us to use. 15 seconds after filling it up and we've got clean, fresh water that we can drink. All right, the first container of fishing gear. I plan on doing a little fishing while I'm out there, but we've got bobbers, lures, top water, some hooks and jigs, and then a couple of grubs on here so we can actually go after different kinds of fish. And then another smaller fish container filled with a lot of accessory supplies that we'll need with us. Wire, we got more bobbers, a small multi-tool for getting hooks out of fish's mouth or manipulating that wire. We've also got fishing line, and then actual galvanized wire with some pre-made snares here for trapping at the water's edge. The small commando saw if we need it, and then this small camo container right here is just a small plastic box filled with hooks, sinkers, swivels, everything we need for fishing setups and rigs. Nice little kit here. All right, so getting to some of the larger items. Got our gloves, safe handling of materials, keep our hands clean as well as safe when we're working with tools. We got that Jetboil fuel large can that's almost full. We can use with that small stove to make a brew. I'm kind of bougie in the woods, so I've got an inflatable pillow here for sleeping at night, something to be comfortable with, get a better night's rest. We got our Eagle Nest Outfitters hammock. This doesn't have a mosquito net on it, just a basic hammock. We're going to use that with our tarp right here to set up our hooch for the night when we camp out. Here's that tarp. This is a 9x9 Defender tarp, very large, a lot of tie-out points for a good shelter. Put it up above our shelter so we got some workspace underneath. We got that Swagman poncho liner that we can use as a blanket to stay warm. It's also water resistant, so we can throw this on and actually stay a little bit dry if it's raining outside or we have a drizzle. We got a small inflatable mattress. This goes right in the hammock to help insulate from underneath the hammock. Very important when you're sleeping up off the ground to have something underneath you to help insulate you from that convective breeze coming underneath your shelter. So a small, cheap, inflatable mattress or pad is going to be good. Next, Canteen trail set. This is the new one with the Batwing handles from Pathfinder. A very basic kit. Water container, you see we place it over the fire already. Comes with a nice nesting cup so we can make a brew and then boil water in this, fill it up, travel with it. We've got water to drink and then a nice pouch container to put it in. And then I've got about 30 feet of 1-inch tubular nylon webbing. Again, we can use this similarly with that heavy-duty cordage as an anchoring or mooring. We can use this for a lot of different purposes. Bringing extra cordage, just on the off chance that we need it, we have it with us for instruction. And then back here we have just that small hatchet to take down material, firewood processing at camp, and something just large enough with a 2-pound head, but still small enough to travel with that we can take down material, process it very easily. I decided on this hatchet to bring because I'm not bringing a large knife, so having some sort of larger tool like this combined with that handsaw to take down material is going to be beneficial. And this is just the tool setup that I chose for this type of kit. right back here in the camelback flap or pouch, just two 55-gallon drum liners, 3 mil. We can use these for keeping our stuff dry as we pack it in this kit. We can also use these as shelter items or flotation devices, something to keep our gear waterproof and then airtight, so we can actually use it as a flotation device to get across that body of water. That's the main intent with these two things right here. And then having two is one is none. So we got two. And I almost forgot this pouch right here. Just more shelter items. We got quick deploy ridgeline for setting up that tarp. And then for tie-out points, along with that tarp is going to be just a couple quick bungee cords that we can use to set up that shelter. Also improvisation for setting up traps or for making different tools like a sling spear. Very easy to do with something like this. And that is everything in the kit, minus food or snacks. Though we're going to be doing a lot of fishing and taking game off the landscape. So food for this type of kit will probably be something small, a backpacker meal, and then some trail food. Just something quick, on the go, easy to do. All right, so here's the whole kit laid out, approximately 25 pounds or so. Not a very heavy kit at all. Too easy. Again, we're going to add food and snacks to this. And then this is going to be what we sustain ourselves with while we're out there instructing, as well as living right by the students. So generally a light kit for something in excess of 5 miles a day or so. Not too bad. Anyway, I really hope you liked this video. Another down and dirty video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.